is stronger together, driving success through collaboration. To dive into this conversation, we have moderator Dr. Annabelle Palomo, CEO and founder of the Rio Grande Valley College.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I am your moderator. Like they mentioned, I am Dr. Annabelle Palomo. I am the founder of RGV College. I have a panel here that has a lot of experience, and it's going to bring you some key takeaways. So I'm going to start with them. Go ahead and introducing themselves. Mr. Almaraz, you want to get started?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. I'm Frank Almaraz. I'm the CEO of Workforce Solutions. Workforce Solutions is a workforce development board. We serve individuals here in Starr, Hidalgo, and Williston counties. Business is our primary customer, although we do work with job seekers to make sure that they're skilled when they start going out into the workplace. I was originally born here in McAllen, went to Pan American University. I did leave. I'm one of those who left the Rio Grande Valley for quite a few number of years, but came back to the Rio Grande Valley. I think this is the best place to be. The valley is growing, and it's the place to be in order for us to prosper and enjoy what the valley has to offer. We all need to be working together here in the Rio Grande Valley.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Linda Ufland. I am the Director of Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Commercialization for the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. I work under the Office of Workforce and Economic Development for the university. Our focus is really to support the community and industry with all the resources necessary for you to thrive and grow as a small business or as an entrepreneur, to really start that journey, which is not an easy journey, but definitely you're not alone. So our area covers different centers, and you'll hear from some of them later on in a different panel. But our area covers a series of resources such as SBDC, APEX, BVOG, which is our Veterans Business Outreach Center, our Professional and Workforce Development, and the center that I have the privilege to lead, the Entrepreneurship and Commercialization Center, that focuses on acceleration, incubation, entrepreneurial development. The focus here for us is collaboration and partnerships. We can't do it alone ourselves as resources, so we support each other and support the mission of our different cities across the Rio Grande Valley to provide these resources for you. This is all for you. So thank you for having me today.
Good morning. It's such a pleasure to be here with you all back in the Valley. I love it. My name is Dr. Valerie. There we go. Dr. Valerie Segovia, and I'm the Vice President of Investor Relations at the Texas Economic Development Corporation. The corporation, TXEDC, makes up part of the governor's cornerstone in economic development, and we partner with the governor's EDT office, and it's always a joy and a pleasure, especially being part of this phenomenal program that they put on. For us, we're a 501c3 organization, and our main purpose, our main mission is to help market the state of Texas, all the businesses within the state of Texas to grow, to thrive, and also to go outside of the state, be it domestically or internationally, and for all those companies that want to come to our great state, international, even through other states. We support that, we help, again, working hand in hand with EDT, and just to really make sure that everyone knows that Texas is the premier state to do business. I also want to say for myself, I'm just now celebrating my first year in this position, in this role. It's been phenomenal to see the amount of work and how not only is it about economic development and business, but how it truly affects individuals, how it changes lives, it makes lives, it improves at every level. So it's such a joy. Before this past year, I was at Texas A&M for 16 years. I was the director of the Nuclear Power Institute, so it was a bit of a change for me. And before that, I was in K-12 education. So again, very excited to be here, and this is where all the magic happens. Everything converges. So thank you.
Thank you. As you can see, we're up for a treat and for some great information. Being a business owner, actually have 3 small business, and I think you can relate. Sometimes finding the right employee is difficult, right? Or the turnover. So my first question is going to be for Mr. Almaraz. What are the most effective workforce development strategies you have seen to help small businesses in our region attract and retain talent?
Well, as I said, business is our primary customer. So when we work with employers, the main thing that they're looking for is to get employees. So we work with employers, first of all, by identifying what their needs are as far as getting talent. We have a platform, the Working Texas platform that we use, and that contains thousands of job applicants that are looking for jobs locally and across the state. And we help employers sign on to that platform so that they have available all those candidates that are looking for jobs. So in addition to that, we provide a lot of labor market information. As you know, a lot of times you don't know who you're competing with, so we have a lot of wage information that's available. We don't give names as to which companies are paying what, but we do have information on the average wages, median wages, on which occupations, so that you're able to see where you compare. So maybe you're underpaying your employees, or you're, and that's one of the reasons that you may not be able to get enough applicants applying for your organization. We do work with every single employer who's interested in our services because we know that one size doesn't fit all. So we have to listen to what your needs are. You may just want information, or you may want us to help you find job candidates. Another thing that we have that's very important, and a lot of employers come to us, is they have employees that have a hard time with childcare. We have about 10,000 children that we serve per day with childcare. And so we're always looking for individuals that are in the workplace that need assistance with childcare. So that's going to help your business retain the employees. There's also a lot of programs that we work with that provide ways to upskill your employees. And that's another area where we can help you identify exactly what is it that you want to do, whether they're new employees coming in and you want them, they still need a little bit of training, so we can help with that. Other employees that you have are tenured employees that have been doing the same work for a long time, but now with the new technology coming in, they need to upskill, so we can help you with that. And like I said, it's one of those things where we need to meet with you to really understand exactly what your needs are, and we're able to meet those needs.
I think he went into my next question, which were resources and grants. As you can see, I've taken advantage of some of those. I actually had an employee who they got started with me, provided childcare, and she's now been with me 6 years. I went ahead and hired her. So at the same time, you're able to take advantage of some of that. So some of you that are looking for those long-term employees, but you don't know, sometimes the workforce will provide that for you. So thank you, Mr. Almaraz. Along with that, I know when I got started, sometimes you're like, okay, what is out there for me, right? So and speaking to Ms. Linda, I know that the university has a lot of resources. So the next question's for you. How can universities and economic development organizations work together to create sustainable pipelines that support entrepreneurs and small business growth from their idea all the way to flourishing?
So the work that we do as a university sometimes is, may be a little confusing because we're a higher ed institution. So our main focus is student success, graduating students, providing that, they get the skill set to go out into the job force. There's another area of the university under the Division of Governmental and Community Relations that is very focused on supporting the economic landscape of the region. Why? I think it is our responsibility as a university and our due diligence as well to support that, because if we have a thriving economy, we have, our talent does not leave. And I think that's one of the, the issues a lot of universities deal with in keeping our talent in the region. So it is our focus really to, under this area of workforce and economic development, to move forward or move the needle forward in terms of the resources that are provided to the community through collaborations with our different cities across the Rio Grande Valley. So the way that we do this is usually, a lot of us in the different centers and the leadership, we work with economic development corporations. They have a mission to support the economy, to support small business, to support entrepreneurs, and to support medium and large, attracting those resources and those businesses to our region. So we provide the resources, the leveraging of programming and the power of programming that the university can then support those entrepreneurs and small businesses. How do we do that? So we have entrepreneurial development programs that are very focused in supporting a startup or an entrepreneur that has an idea, they want to start a business. How do I do that? So we provide that basic foundation on how to then move forward into building a business strategy or a business plan to then support you in every way we can. How do we help small businesses that are really in existence? Usually they're looking for growth. And some of these small businesses have been in business for 20, 30 years. Sometimes take one of our programs and say, if I only knew what I know now. Things would have been different. I would have pivoted this way. I would have added this feature to. So it's not just our programming. It's not just for those beginners or those entrepreneurs that are starting a business, but also wanting to grow a business. So we do it through collaborations with our chambers of commerce. In my case particularly, we do it a lot with our economic development corporations by building and activating either spaces or programs or offices that support all the needs of the community in terms of what kind of industry they're focused on, or our small business community. We are a region of small businesses, so we cannot leave that behind. I know there's a lot of buzz and a lot of trends right now in the Rio Grande Valley about emerging tech coming into play with with the arrival of these big industries that are coming in. But really, we continue to be the core. So I'm a true believer of growing your own large industry in your backyard. So why not? Can some of you be able to scale your business to the point that you can hire students, that you can, contribute to the economy and be a game changer in our region? So we do this through the collaboration with our economic development, our EDCs, because they have a mission as well to support that. So leveraging is key here. We have the means, we have the programming, we have the resources. Let's just put our heads together and collaborate for us to drive your mission as that supporting economic supporting organization that can support the needs of the community. Some examples really quick. We do it here in the city of Pharr. We have our Pharr Global Business Hub, which is a center and a space that we activated here we're about to be 1 year anniversary, and look out for that celebration. And then we have another facility in Bronzeville right now called eBridge, which is a large facility that focuses on providing all the resources from the incubator to our other centers, services, and so forth. These are just spaces, but we also have presence and offices in almost all the main cities in the Rio Grande Valley.
Okay, I guess my next question would be like a case study. Like, would that be a model of something that's happening with the university? What could be a takeaway for our audience on that? Can you give me an example?
Okay, I can give you an example with both. So with eBridge, it was literally a collaboration between a EDO or an EDC and the university. We came together to create a space that will bring all the resources that are available in the university and beyond to the community and industry. There was a demand for it because we saw that all the entrepreneurs and all our small businesses were looking, who can help me? What can I do? So we wanted to create a space that they knew that was you can go there and receive the assistance that you needed. So it was very focused in supporting that ecosystem and building an ecosystem around them to really support the needs that they have, because what we think they need usually is not what they need. So we needed to do a lot of surveying, a lot of research to be able to really create a space, an activated space that will then support the needs of the community. So eBridge is that hub. Here in the city of Pharr, we have a soft landing program, which is an international program. So the focus was to really create a space to activate and support the international community that is coming to the Rio Grande Valley, that wants to start in operations to the Rio Grande Valley, and provide them with all those resources that they need to scale and grow. FDIs are job creators. They also support the economy. So we needed to support that ecosystem. So we did that in the Pharr Global Business Home. So these are two main cases that we have.
Some good information. And what I heard is also, I guess it's not even for just a startup, maybe someone that's in growth. And I know when speaking to you, I said, okay, well, I'm about to open up a second campus after 20 years because it's that hesitation. I don't know, those systems, are they in place? You want to go be successful. So it's great that we have that type of support with the university. So it's not only for anyone starting, but anyone who might be potentially growing their business, that we have those resources. Also with, let's say, the Texas Economic Development, Dr. Segovia. What is it and how can it support small businesses?
Wonderful. So, as I mentioned earlier, just briefly, we make up the governor's cornerstone along with the amazing team, his economic development and tourism team, who is led by the amazing Adriana Cruz. Our president and CEO is Aaron Dimerson. Many of you may have known him as previously being one of the Texas Workforce Commission commissioners. They are very often called the dynamic duo, and working together and ensuring that, again, as I mentioned earlier, that Texas is the premier location for business. So for us, what we do is definitely support all the things that the EDT team wants to accomplish in alignment with the governor, and also marketing. That is our main focus, to market what is happening in that space, and then all the way from Austin to all throughout Texas and beyond, but to the local level as well, to support what needs to be done, the types of efforts that are being made to grow economies, grow business. That's what our focus is, and to build stronger networks. With us, as part of the corporation, we want to make sure that everyone has a connection. So everything the EDT team does, we want to support that. We want to market, we organize events. Some of them are attached to very exciting activities. Some of that is traveling throughout the U.S. or internationally. But most of that also goes back to local businesses, especially those within our network. Please know that we're happy to support anyone, if they're in our network or not, part of the corporation. But it's about supporting, making sure that you're being marketed through us, which is attached, again, to the economic development team's efforts. And it's all about building layers of success, visibility, and awareness to not only know or help you find resources, again, connecting with EDT, their incentives, but everyone, the Workforce Commission, to the universities, of course, the Workforce Board, Solutions, and let us not forget, again, especially our host today, Pharr EDC, all of the local EDCs, because that's where, as we say in our office, that's where the rubber meets the road. The work is being done at the local level, and we want to support that. And what we do beyond creating events, helping to market those within our network, but we try to be everywhere we're asked to be. Being here today is everything, because we want to validate what everyone is doing here in this space. That I'm here, we're going to pass it on through our network, and of course all of our partners that are here as well, but then you all. And I have to say, it's amazing, again, we all know these types of events, but that you that are here to learn and to access new resources and to strengthen your networks, congratulations. This event is so rich. All the layers are covered. So again, kudos to Jarvis and the team, the entire team, Pharr for putting on this amazing event. But for you being in here, it was so thoughtfully done. Every layer is here represented. So for us, we strengthened that, again, with alignment with the governor's office. And for us, again, even if it's not something directly related, always reach out to us if you would like, and we can help get you connected. If we can't do it, we know who can.
Based on that, this session is collaboration, the importance of collaborating in order for you to be successful. So can you give me maybe a personal or professional success through collaboration that you've experienced?
Well, on the personal side, just very briefly, as I mentioned, I'm celebrating my first year, right, in economic development. And if it wasn't for the collaborations that I had previously with then Commissioner Demerson, that we supported each other. When I was at Texas A&M, he would support some of my events and activities, I would support his. And it was always about those collaborations, because I think if any of us just ponder a little bit about what's happening here or what you've previously experienced in your personal life or even professional, that's where the beauty is, right? It's about working with somebody that has opportunities, skills, traits that maybe you don't have yourself, but finding a place of creativity. And in this past year alone, it's been beautiful working with some of our new investors, my new colleagues now. That's where the richness is, because it's about bringing opportunity, but the beauty is in these conversations that we've had that it spawns more ideas, more possibilities. What has never been done, but what we can do now just because of working together, giving each other an opportunity to speak and connect, that to me is power.
Thank you. And you can see that all this information is key. I know if you're just starting out, how scared that can be, right? Or you're just wondering, can I do this? And visualizing your end success to the beginning, it's just, these are key takeaways that I wish I knew 20 years ago. Based on that, Mr. Almaraz, I know that the workforce has helped my entity grow. So has the EDC, the Pharr EDC, and I thank them for that. Give me maybe an example of how you've helped some skilled development through grants, maybe the high demand job or something like that you've had in the workforce.
Yeah, we do have quite a bit of grants that we partner with the Texas Workforce Commission, where, and also we would partner with economic development corporations like Pharr EDC, specifically like Dr. Palomo was mentioning. There's such a need for healthcare here in the Rio Grande Valley, and there's just not enough teachers or professors in that field, that there's just a shortage of that, so it's very difficult to provide that type of training here in the Rio Grande Valley, well, actually across the nation. But working with organizations like the RGV College and Pharr EDC, we were able to pull down $300,000 to provide healthcare training in nursing. And so that's just one example. We've worked with I forgot the DHR, Doctors Hospital at Renaissance. This was a couple of years ago. There's a skills development fund. And on that one, which was the second largest grant that we've ever received in the state of Texas, was $2.6 million that we brought down through the Texas Workforce Commission, again, for healthcare. And help them in a lot of different areas, not just in nursing, but in a lot of other positions that are necessary at a hospital. So there's a lot of opportunity that we can partner with the educational institutions, the training providers, EDCs, chambers, And there's also foundations that we work with, the Resta Foundation. We also partner with them. And all is to provide training and upskilling for employers such as you. So if you're interested in that, I guess the easy answer would be, there's a table in the back with Workforce Solutions, and we're sitting right there with the Texas Workforce Commission. And you can either leave us your card or your information, and we can get back to you and try to see if we can come up with a way on how to help you upskill your employees.
That was going to be my next question. If I'm out there, where do I get this information? So you heard it's in the back for those of you that are interested. Based on some of this, I know, Ms. Linda, what are some key ingredients for successful collaboration between universities, industry leaders, and government entities when building innovation ecosystems that serve both startups and scaling businesses?
So the word ecosystem, it's very trendy right now. I think everybody started using it a couple of years ago. It's like ecosystem building. What does that mean? So an ecosystem is made out of different resources that are available that come together to really support a certain, either population, demographic, or a certain group of individuals. In this case, innovation ecosystems is really to support entrepreneurs and small businesses and innovators wanting to create or change or have a solution for something bigger and better for this world. So the way that the university has really positioned itself to be an ecosystem builder is because all of us as centers or as resources, we can't do it alone. So the idea of really breaking down those barriers of silos and working together is key for a successful ecosystem to support entrepreneurs and small businesses. So we offer cohort-based programming. I mean, maybe a lot of you have heard of the Kaufman Fast Track that we deliver all throughout the Rio Grande Valley in collaboration with EDOs or EDCs from the island all the way to Mission, Pharr, Weslaco, Harlingen, and so forth. So we rely on experts that can provide subject matter, information to so we really build ecosystems around these different communities that we work with to support, so they can feel that it's local, it's for them, it's a support system, and that network just keeps growing and growing and growing. So this also happens internally in our university. All our centers, we work together to complement and support each other. So as much as we want to say, I took credit for this particular business, we shouldn't. We should be able to allow them to be touched by everybody to really feel the support and the resources that are available in the community for you small business owners, for you entrepreneurs. So the collaboration is key to building this ecosystem from industry leaders because they're the ones that have the experience. They're the one that been through the success and the failures. We love really to connect with companies or entrepreneurs that have failed because they have the lessons learned, they have the know-how, and we bring them together, with our entrepreneurs, with our small businesses to really provide that insights. And industry leaders, resources in terms of our cities or our EDOs because they have benefits, or certain projects or even grants to be able to support them. We do startup competitions, pitch competitions to support our small business. I do want to plug in Harlingen because we just started our Harlingen Rise Up program with them where they're going to provide $30,000 of seed funding for any company that's wanting to scale. So these are the type of programs. We do it with Startup Texas in Brownsville as well. We do it with Ruby Red competition in Mission. So really this collaboration to build this ecosystem to not only support the entrepreneur in this month, but also provide them with resources and even sometimes if we can funding through our partnerships and our collaboration is really critical for the success of all of you in this space that you want to work in. Collaboration in terms of other centers that support because we support the launch, the startup, the scalability, but then what happens when they're already in operation? We have a tremendous partnership with TMAC, which is our Texas Manufacturing Assistance Center. They really provide that next level support in terms of continuous improvement, production efficiencies, et cetera, et cetera. I can go on, guys, for like 2 hours talking about all the resources that we're able, but it really creates, the point here is that we need to work together, and that's what we're trying to do, as a core function in the university of supporting community and industry, is to bring all these resources together for you and leveraging by working with our EDOs, our chambers as well, to then support the ecosystem of resources to community industry in terms of entrepreneurship and small business development.
Some great resources. I think key what you said a little bit on there is even for existing businesses trying to get better, you're always, I know I always tell my staff, we're our own competition, right? Always looking to see how we can improve for the betterment of course, for our students. So on that, what if I do that, but I want to make sure that I don't overlap to ensure alignment of goals and avoid duplication of resources? How would I go about that across these sectors?
So there's always going to be some, layers, some duplication, or what we say, we can step into each other's toes sometimes. Either way, there's enough entrepreneurs and there's enough small businesses that need support. So even if some of us tend to kind of overlap in the resources or in the services that we provide, it's okay, because it's more information, it's more richness to you, it's more education, it's more programming that you're able to take advantage of. So it's a matter of really, just understanding what that resource is doing for you, what it does, what's the benefit to you, and what is the outcome that you like to have. Either you're building a business plan, either you're building a growth plan, you want to be in an incubator because you need that additional support in moving forward. You need a cohort-based program just because you're starting and you really don't know what's going on yet. There's something for everybody. So even though there might be a little overlap of resources in some of the organizations that are even here within this space, it's okay, because you should take advantage of each one of us. One of the ways that we brought all this ecosystem together, we launched RGV Startup Week. So RGV Startup Week was we've done it for 2 years. It's a big way to bring all the resources together to provide you everything that you need, all the resources that are out there, from workforce to, a startup community, entrepreneurship community, innovation community, everything that you needed together to provide you with panels and workshops and trainings and events and parties, all related to entrepreneurship. And we this year collaborated not just, in Bronxville, but we collaborated with the city of Pharr, with the city of Harlingen, with the city of Westlaco, with the city of Mission. It was tremendous, guys. So that's what ecosystem is. That's how we come together and support you.
Great support. So we're hearing skill development for employees, support from the university. We have the Texas Economic Development Corporation, our local EDCs. I know if I were to be in the audience, and I think we have time for one more question. This will be for Dr. Segovia. I'd like a takeaway. Like, how did you prepare, sustain your growth in your professional career, and where do you go for support or assistance? So I'm a small business, you've got support and stuff. Sometimes you feel lost, and you can see how much resources you do have in order to grow your business. Can you give us an example of what you've gone through?
Yes, I think, so many things, like so many of you, but it always goes back to those, wonderful and wise words our parents pass along. I'll tell you who you are when you tell me who your friends are, right? And I think that applies not only personally, but in business. So I think, again, participating in amazing activities and events like this, but more personally, I think it's about allowing yourself and encouraging and pushing yourself to always continue to grow, to work with organizations such that are represented here, to be constantly learning, right? And to really gravitate, really pull yourself toward people that you admire, that maybe they're at a place where you aspire to be. But also what's really important, and I find this no matter my age or years of experience, always try when you can to go toward positive people, right? They may not always be in a certain room or a certain table or whatever the situation is, the most wise or successful. But I think that level of positivity and willingness to learn and connect will sustain you. And I think also never turn away an opportunity. There's always opportunities, right? I would always tell young people that I worked with and my own children, you're always being watched. You're always being listened to. You never know who it is sometimes. And every time that you speak, you walk into a room, you're representing yourself, who you are now, and maybe possibly who you want to be. Now, again, that can be personally or as your business. So never miss that opportunity. Never avoid an opportunity to, sometimes enter into conversations that can be difficult, right? But that's when learning can be done. Take advantage, again, of being in activities and events such as these, because you're constantly learning, growing your network, but always go to those that maybe you don't always agree to, but listening to what they have to say, because there's lots of knowledge there, right? Learn from every good example and even the bad examples of the things that you shouldn't do or to avoid. So for us, sustaining, growing, it's about that. And just never, burn a bridge if that's possible. But there's going to be people that we all have experienced through our life. It doesn't matter if it was maybe your first grade teacher or someone you knew back in college, or even that you're meeting today, that will always sustain you, be a possible resource. So lean toward those people, lean toward people that you want to be, who keep you positive and focused, and always continue learning, gathering your resources, because one day or another, you'll need it.
Thank you. It kind of drives us to the last 10 minutes. I know she mentioned, John Maxwell always says, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with. So I always tell my daughter that all the time. She goes, I know the average of the 5 people you hang around with, because that does make a difference for collaboration, right? So our last 10 minutes, we're going to open it up for any questions that we might have from the audience. I know we have some mics going around. So if you'd like to raise your hand, if you have any questions for our panelists today. We have one in the back. I see a hand in the back. Somebody's raising their hand up in the very back, Brian. Way back. Keep walking. You're getting there. Okay.
Do you have any advice when trying to create a cohort that collaborates with established resources, that is also trying to include research and development into their process or procedures?
So let me understand, you're the cohort based to really drive innovation in terms of R&D? Okay. So really it's just get yourself acquainted and familiarized with what the end game or the deliverables are. Is it prototyping? Is it maybe developing just the innovation of really understanding the research that needs to be done? And then reaching out to those resources that are in the community that focus on R&D. Universities are great for that. But even, community colleges might be able to support that, as they have different labs or they have different, training facilities that sometimes are shared with community resources. So it's really understanding, and reaching out to maybe, spaces like, I don't want to, plug ourselves in, but spaces like ours or organizations like ours that support innovation and then connect you there to bring the technical aspect in. Because I think a lot of the organizations that are out there really support the business side, but not necessarily the technical side. And that's where sometimes we need to drive the innovation to that side, because we need a little bit of that R&D to be able to validate the innovation or the solution that we're being proposed. So a cohort based of innovators, kind of having the same outcome or the same solution-based innovation can then bring others in to be able to then support the R&D aspect of it. So reaching out to universities, reaching out to organizations that can help you create that cohort base or that line of resources, and even the participants is key in kind of providing that little, program moving forward. Did I answer your question?
Thank you. Good information. We have another question.
Hello, my name is Mariana Sierra. I represent Investors with Legacy here in the Rio Grande Valley, and as an operator of many different businesses, not just in Pharr, Texas, but as well all the way to Raymondville. We're developers and we invest in land, but then also we like to give back to the community. I personally put seminars together just as this. Last one being Invest RGV, which attracted a lot of people. I see very familiar faces that probably attended that event. And we are working to put more knowledge and resources together for young entrepreneurs like myself, but also experienced investors, sophisticated investors from outside of the valley. And the challenge that we find is that we don't have an extensive enough program of information of value really coming out of the Rio Grande Valley. A lot of the times it's mainly they want to come and see the valley as a whole. So not just McAllen, not just Brownsville, but really, for example, our investments are right now in Mercedes, Texas. We're developing a large community of 300 doors. And in order for me to attract that sort of investment into the Rio Grande Valley, we want to see more endeavors that put the collaboration together, the forces together to put events that are 2-3 days long. Larger conferences, larger summits, such as this one, yet people won't fly in from Dallas, from Houston, just for a one morning event. Clearly, we have to put our endeavors forward into expanding the vision that we have as a community in the Valley, but then pooling that information and sort of spreading it out. I was in Austin just this past weekend and I got to see a pamphlet of Brownsville. And oh my God, I got so excited. I started like waving it at everybody at the store. I'm like, why is Brownsville in Austin? Like, what's going on? Somebody tell me what's happening here. And I got to talk to the leader of the Austin tourist information booth, and she was just there kindly giving out information, but she didn't even really know what Brownsville was and what was happening. I'm like, do you know Starbase? It just got appointed as a new city. She said, oh, no, I had no idea. And so it's these things that we have to sort of push out of the valley as well, not just within our community. But I guess my question to you would be, how do you see our endeavors from here, from 2025 to 2026? What are you guys doing to maybe, promote the valley as a whole, not just city by city?
So I'm just going to touch on that from my perspective. I think, and I certainly haven't articulated it today. We talk about the resources here that are in the room, but let us not forget you all as businesses or those entrepreneurs that want to start something. You all are resources to each other. So if it's to the previous question or even to you, sometimes it's about, okay, we may or may not be competitors in this sector, but let's utilize our resources. Let's come together to have these conversations to help bring attention, bring awareness. Maybe it's about approaching, other businesses that you haven't perhaps collaborated with, but pitching them the idea why they need to support your R&D, because businesses, as we all know, they do their own R&D in so many directions. But I think for you specifically, what you were asking about, I think it's important, again, to utilize the resources here, but to also, work. Sometimes it's about traveling to Austin or other areas to bring some of those highly visible individuals to your space, but also maybe if they can't do it themselves, maybe talking with them, meeting with them to help construct a plan that is very specific to, okay, what kind of attention do you want? How do we want to position ourselves in a way that we want other people to see us? And we have media here, we have communications here. Of course, you always want to access what's local, but also if it's just social media, how to bring it. And then again, working with others, collaborating with others, and pooling resources, because sometimes it's a little expensive at times, but most of the times it's well worth it. Maybe even bringing people, help paying expenses to get them here sometimes. And especially if it's an event that you want to hold that's over the course of 2-3 days, you really need a lot of resources. And perhaps, again, pulling together maybe in your space, but even ones that are in your area, again, to pull resources to help bring that attention out. And then, of course, with social media, tag folks so they'll reshare. Images are very important, but we want to help in that way. And again, if we can't ourselves, we'll connect you to someone that can. But just always reaching out, even if it's an email, a phone call, do what you can, and then let others help you in that way.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So in terms of what we're doing locally, I think one of the attempts that we've been trying to do is, for example, RGV Startup Week. We have been trying to promote in collaboration with different cities, particularly in Bronzeville with BCIC, with the Bronzeville Community Improvement Corporation. The idea was to really scale that enough that others will notice outside the Rio Grande Valley. So, for example, we have brought organizations from Austin, from Dallas, from San Antonio to really support that event, to scale it up and take it to where others will be interested in showing, what the value of, and how valuable the region is in terms of supporting entrepreneurs and small businesses. And I think we do have some marketing organizations in the Rio Grande Valley that really market the RGV in a very specific way with data. So, for example, our friends at CoStep, they're very good at providing the information, stats in terms of what the valley as a whole offers to maybe larger industry or medium-sized industry, that wants to, support, or land here in the Rio Grande Valley.
Thank you. And that pretty much drives us to the end of our session, Driving Success Through Collaboration. We hope that you are taking away some crucial, important information that maybe you can apply at in your space. Let's give our panelists a hand for some wonderful information, and we thank you very much. Thank you.